of all, I think your analysis was very straight-lined. History doesn't run in a straight line.
Kid, you cannot tell your neighbor he is stealing ducks when you are stealing frogs.
As High Commissioner, I was wrong. As Charandas Prasad, I reacted naturally how any person would have.
I did not come here for that kind of abuse. I did not come here for that kind of abuse. If you're going to go along that road, I'll walk off.
But it's all okay once they're talking. If they were talking, I could not have been here today.
You got ADHD.
I got nothing.
Calm down.
I think I've done enough in terms of taking our team out of trouble from losing.
Come on, Lou Taylor. That's good.
I'm reading the script now, and the first person that comes to my mind to play a detective,
Yes,
but
the
an
Chinese
erratic
Mikhail
detective,
Rodriguez.
Mikhail Rodriguez.
Why an African slap an Indian? Why a man and slap a woman? Look, how you deal with that? You deal with that.
We must encourage platforms like this because it brings together different people and allows for discussions to take place in our country on a multiplicity of fundamental issues.
Kingdom, you apologizing for something you think I did is wrong. I don't want you to do that, and you should not have done that. Hi there, a pleasant Wednesday evening to you. We are live. This is the Freddie Kissoon Show. And we have two guests. We have now rejoined our normal programming and have guests. As you know, Leonard, Craig and I, we've been inviting a colleague, a friend of ours, over the past 4 programs. So just wrap. This evening we have two guests. And they will talk about what they expect in another day. After tomorrow, there is the budget. It is going to cause curiosity in every single person as to how much that budget will be. It will definitely be over $1 trillion. But what will be inside of it? Now, our guests are, one of them has more than 50 years experience in politics. Now look, you may not like his political views or not, but when someone has been around actively in politics for 50 years, give him credit. He has to know something. And that is one of your favorite person that you like to lambast on the call-in program, Rajendra Bissesar. As you know, he has formed this party, United Democratic Front. I think he told me that will be launched in February. Then there's the man who was the mayor for 5 years. And if you're the mayor of the city of Georgetown for 5 years, you should know something about budget and the politics of Guyana. and that is Hindu Pandit Ubraj Narine. My co-host is Leonard Craig, and as you know, Craig is going to expand on the budget now and next week because Craig has a master's in economics and did his PhD in international trade. So it should be a roller coaster ride. I guess I will have to let Craig take over. What do I know about economics compared to Craig? So welcome to Rajendra Bissesar.
How are you doing?
Welcome to Ubraj Narine.
Thanks for having me.
And of course, Leonard Craig. So over to Craig.
Gentlemen, welcome.
Thanks for having me here.
Raj, we'll start with you.
Two old friends.
Just let's know. Since you're here and Freddie mentioned it briefly, but you want to tell us anything else about your party that?
Well,
I know he's joining Ubraj. Ubraj told me he's joining his.
Well, like you said, I've been a long time in politics. I was with the PPP for 25 years. I fought the PNC and got the regular beat and jail and torture, whatever. All my family overseas, I stayed here. And I worked my way up. I was advisor to the minister, first assistant to President Barajagdi, actually. And during the second term, when, in my opinion, and Donald actually said it in the press that the corruption was deep-rooted when he was campaigning, I criticized the corruption and I was terminated. And so I got the same treatment. And then I joined with the AFC 2 years later. And when they
joined with him.
Yeah, and when they started talking about 34's majority and 2.5 man, and I said, that's not it. I resigned, and now I'm independent. And I don't feel I want to attach myself to any one of those three parties because, as far as I'm concerned, they've betrayed the working people of this country. And although one of those small parties talk about Rodney lives, they kill his ideology, and the other party talks of Cherry lives, and they've betrayed his legacy. So none of these parties right now, and that's what I want to discuss the budget, actually represents the working people of this country or acts on behalf of the working people of this country.
So can I have an invitation for the launch of your party? Yeah.
Well, when I set the date and so on.
But I know.
I thought you set the date.
I know you have membership forms in your car. Please give Ubraj Narine one. No, he is looking for a new party because the PNC is. I think he's leaving the PNC. So
wait. You said you were born again PNC.
So one other quick thing before we move off to Mayor.
To the former PNC.
Not farmer.
Farmer.
Where will your support come from?
I think my support will come from working people, the marginalized. I think it'll people read my letters, and I was in television. I wrote representing the teachers. I wrote representing sugar workers. I had a recent letter representing the police because. So I think my support will come a lot from the working people, and it will come from the young people, because the young people in this country deserve better, not something better than what the PPP did or something better than what the PNC did. They need to get what this country's wealth is capable of giving them. And so I think the young people recognize that the bulk of the wealth of this country is not going in their direction.
So do you think your message is getting through to this group these groups or segments that you identify?
Well,
you got a megaphone or something?
Well, as I said, I am on various programs. I'm on Freddie's program sometimes.
Well, you're getting good coverage tonight, so.
And I write a lot of letters in the press.
You gotta start paying me. Get good coverage from this program.
I'm a frequent letter writer in the press, so people read my letters and they're posted on social media. All my letters are posted about 15 groups with thousands of people. So that message is going out, and I intend to start I used to have my own television program. The last election, I had my own program, and I was the face of the AFC in most of which you know, I moderated most of the AFC program. So I'll be starting my own TV program, maybe hopefully, the latter part of this month.
So who else are your co-conspirators?
Well, I'll tell you the truth. I have members, and I'll tell you why I wouldn't disclose right now, because You see this one.
But we will see that on the launch, right?
This obviously this one Guyana is really one PPP. Because anytime you are critical of this government, even though you might even vote for them in the long term, or you might give them support at the election because you might believe they might be the better of the two evils. The fact is, like, my contract was up in December, but because I've been writing critical letters, guess what? It wasn't based on merit or qualification. They refused to renew my contract. So the message is clear. This government message is clear. You criticize us, you're out like south. We victimize you, so that's the reality.
Mayor.
But I'd say one thing. I have never subjected my principles to the fear of victimization. I don't care what happened to me. I always stick by my principle. I don't sell out.
All right. Fair enough. Let's see what will happen. I want the invitation and I want to be there when you launch it.
Okay.
Right? Because if you won't give me an invitation, I come and be bad on this program, you know.
Okay.
Please give Ubraj Narine application form for membership. I know he's looking around for a party.
Not at all.
Mayor, just to clarify, in clear tones, you're joining up and working along with Raj.
That is not true.
That's not true. Okay. Mayor, before we talk about the budget and so on, tell us, this is an election year, and you're part of the PNC. How confident are you in not in the results, but in the preparation that you have seen so far and the trajectory thing? What are some of the things you think not so good and need to be improved, or whatever it is? How you see your preparation?
Well, it's was. It's not is part. Was.
Freddie, I come very peaceful today. This program, don't heat up the seat.
And I hope Freddie don't get too excited like last time.
Craig, I can speak for my personal view. I will not speak for the party I'm a part of. I'm not a part of the executive, so I can't speak for that party. I can speak for my personal view. I want to make that very clear.
Yeah.
Right? I believe that your question posed, I don't know whether it's a party line or GCOM. But let me touch on the party note. I can't say much what is happening in the People's National Congress at this point of time. I am not, there's no streamline of information coming down to member of the People's National Congress reform. I have not informed what way we are heading, who are we heading with, and what team will be set up. So these things are very critical in any election for any political party. Myself haven't received any information, so I would not able to tell you exactly, well, this is what we are heading to, this is what our next step is. I can't say that, and I will not preempt it because I don't know the party position on such a matter.
All right, Raj, well, the gentleman actually need your invitation because it seems like he got to be invited to his own party.
I'm telling you, the man is fishing around.
No, I'm not fishing around. Let me clear that
WPA,
Let me clear it.
Anug.
No.
You also wanted to make a comment on GCOM.
Why don't form your own party like that?
No, I have no interest of that. I'm a man of principle. I don't beg nobody for invitation. I go my way straight, come my way straight. Politics don't mind
why the two of them know each other very long?
Politics, I'm in politics to help the working class.
Maybe later on.
To help the people. And that is what I demonstrate as mayor. I am not in politics to gain anything. I don't want anything.
Well, I'm glad you said you don't beg. You're waiting for invitation.
No. I don't beg for invitation. I don't want invitation.
I said you're waiting for.
Right?
But what I'm saying, What I'm saying is this, and you said you're for the working class, and that's exactly what I said.
All the parties speak on working class. The PPP, the PNC, the AFC, now you all speak of the working class.
But let me ask a question. You probably have been reading my letters and so on. Have I been consistent in terms of...
Yes. I can make mention. I saw you speak a lot about the working class, the benefit working class to receive and all these things.
So at least...
I follow you, sir. Yes.
So...
Coming to GCOM, I've seen the media where the chairman make mention, the legal advisor for GCOM a few months ago, maybe a month or 2 months ago, where they make mention of Asha Kissoon's seat and so on. I haven't seen GCOM take stand on those matters. And as Bissesar, forming a new party, these are concerning issues, Leonard and Freddie and viewers. And the chairman make mention that they will take steps to finalize certain things, to remove certain things, to ensure we have a free and fair election. Because that's my fear, right? We must have free and fair election, and to have that, I'm the first actually make mention when I visited India 2 years ago, make mention of the biometric system, because I visited the election commission in India. We spent actually all day there, and they sensitize us on how their system works. And it's a fantastic system, and we have very close connection with India. Why we don't bring some export from India to guide us to implement this biometric system? And we can able to do better at every election going forward in the future. So a new voters list have been called upon not only by the opposition, the PNC and the AFC and others. It has been called prior to the to PPP government. The then opposition leader Rajendra have make mention publicly that they need biometric system, they need a new voters list. He is on record saying these things, and now when you're in power, you are not subscribed to those promises and those words that you have made mention when you were opposition. That is showing
your party did the same when you were in power.
Those things are showing hypocritical behavior, Freddie.
Let's face facts.
Did the same.
Both parties promises things in opposition. Both parties promise constitutional change in opposition. And when they take power, they don't. Both parties promise so many things. When they get in there, they don't. The fact is, I was part of the FC team when we met with the Canadian people. And they introduced this system. And because Guyana is small, the whole of Guyana could be in a pilot project where when you vote, they would have supplied all the equipment, satellite phones and everything else, connection. When you vote, you mark your ballot, right? And then you take the ballot and you put it into the machine. The machine registers the vote. It's not like purely electronic. And after the machine registers the vote, you take the same ballot, you fold it, and you put it in the ballot box. So you had the hard copy available, and you also had the electronic. 2 sets of arms. Right. So immediately, at the end of the poll, the results are there. And the satellite phone will call in and send the result to Georgetown, okay? I went with the FC leadership to talk to these people. They could have implemented it, they did not.
When
I remember I was in the...
When they were in government or prior?
Even before the election, after 2011, before the 2015 election. So, and then they could have implemented that at least when they were in power. But as the same usual thing, they talk about things but don't. My position, I am not going to complain about losing the election because of this. You know why? The PP lost the election in 2011.
And 2015.
And 2015. So as far as I'm concerned, the party in power can lose the election. So they won. They lost in 2011. So what's the problem? They won in 2020. So the election shows that you can lose and you can win. But what it shows is that a particular party don't like to come out when they lose, and that's the history. Now, low and feeling...
Why are you saying a particular party? The PNC.
Right.
I know you're trying to be courteous to the man, but you got the record history here.
No. Wait, Bissesar. You always attack the PNC. You always say something negative about the PNC. If you are running an independent party, you have to stick to your policy of your party. Why come here and defend the PPP
let me say
at
that.
certain matters arise here?
Come on,
right?
Hold on.
Let me
Right.
defending the
You're
PPP.
speaking on this biometric system on the AFC when
You're
you were
not correct.
AFC
You are not
and
correct.
all these things.
are-
We want to avoid what happened in 2020.
You are not correct. You are
because
not-
you had a recount and there's certain things that
can't
show on
avoid
the
what-
recount.
Hold on. You're not.
We want a
2020
new
was an
list. We
invention.
want a
The election was
automatic
quite
system.
normal.
We are moving a digital
Let's
stage.
start with the budget.
Why we don't move to a digital stage? Everything is moving digitally.
Listen. You're incorrect.
You have a digital ID card will come out
Ubraj.
soon. Right? We don't have an
Ubraj.
act on those things.
Ubraj.
But it will be out just now.
Ubraj, every single letter that I wrote for the past year attacked the PPP.
Right.
And not the PNC. So you're absolutely incorrect. Not because I make a single criticism now, you're going to
But why
generalize
are you
on that.
afraid of attacking the PNC?
No, I'm not.
There should be attacked.
No, I am not afraid.
That's a party
but
that
I'm also
almost
telling you,
destroyed Guyana.
I'm
No,
contesting-
Freddie,
I'm
I take
contesting
homage
against
of that
both
statement.
parties.
And I repeat it again.
No,
That's a party that almost destroyed Guyana. You
Where?
were too young to know
No, I
that
know
they would destroy
history,
Guyana.
and that is a
You
problem
were too
we
young
have
to know
in
better.
this country.
Demon like Bonham was destroying Guyana.
I would not sit here to allow you call Barnum a demon.
He's a
Freddie.
demon.
Not never. Because you know
The PNC
exactly.
No, worry that.
You know,
Let's talk
you
about
know
the budget.
exactly, Freddie,
Every
that
single
the
budget I know.
PNC vision for this country is
Vision?
what PPP
What's the real-
implementing here today. You know that.
Every election was
and
right.
all of these
I
things.
don't know
Okay,
that.
So
okay,
why
guys.
you said
All right,
Barnum's
all right.
demon?
All right.
All elections are rigged by the
But this
PNC.
nonsense is happening under the PPP, Freddie, and you sit here defending the PPP, Freddie.
Lowenfield
And you
said,
just defend him, Bonham.
hold on.
All right.
Lowenfield said there are adequate things in the. He said it. There are adequate things in the election machinery.
Let's move on to the budget.
You must have a little bit here or there, but it's enough. And I am saying, you got a picture there, and for rigging to take place and all those that people come out, I can't see it happening. Okay.
All right.
Anyway, back to the budget.
So
I am
we're
B,
not
right?
back. We go now. Go into the budget.
I'm B, right? My initial comment is this, right? I have yet to see any of these two parties and the AFC included in present a budget that has the strategic objective of addressing the poverty in this country. China removed 900 million from poverty. India removed about 400 million from poverty because they strategized to do so. Our budgets here is purely neoliberal. It's like the IMF is still controlling, okay? It's purely neoliberal, and the other word for it is trickle-down economics. You do a lot of infrastructure.
Hold on, sir. What do you mean by neoliberal?
I'm explaining it now, right? If you allow me, please. It means that we're doing infrastructure to create the infrastructural basis for the private sector to invest. And when they invest, it will trickle down to the masses. Basically, that's how it's structured. A lot of emphasis on infrastructure, incentivize the private sector, and it trickles down. It never trickles down. Even some of the...
And your approach would be?
If I will be coming to it if you don't interrupt, you know.
I'm just trying to hasten.
No, you're slowing down the process. So what I'm saying is this: the budget, none of these budgets from these two parties have the strategic objective. And my position is this, right? We need to do infrastructure work that is absolutely necessary, especially when you're going to borrow money to do it. Like 40% of the last budget was borrowed money. I would not borrow money to put in unproductive area like decorating the city and all of those things, because that don't bring back. So if you're going to invest, if you're going to borrow to invest, you must be investing in areas that will bring returns, that we can pay back the loan. Like if I have my house, I borrow money to build a garden, I can't pay it back. I got to put a garden that produce fruits or something. So that's the first thing, right? So the borrowing money for infrastructure work, especially unnecessary one, is not the way. Secondly, we need to have a budget that targets those that are marginalized. I don't want a budget that they're going to hand out here, hand out there, like hand out 100,000 to the rich and the poor. I don't know how that targets the poor. When they give the rich and the poor 100,000, or when we have all those single parents, 40% poverty in this country, and what I would like to see.
We don't have 40% poverty.
Anyway, too much anyway. What I would like to see is measures directed in that.
All right, let me
show you something. I would set up. I would like a budget that's decided in this way. You set up. Money must be directed towards creating 2 more training centers like the Gaisuko Training Center. Now we have all this development, and we have high unemployment because people are not qualified for the job. It's not that we have unemployment, but they can't fit the jobs. So knowing that we're going to do all of these development, we should have planned. We should have had 2 more of those training centers to train our people. When they come out to centers like those, they're very well rounded. Secondly, I'd want to see the engineering faculty be put in Borbies. Okay, I would like a well-structured professional welfare system set up in place, because your free education is something good. But the people in Essequibo, Borbies and Demerara and the other regions who are poor can't afford the rent. So they can't go to UG because it's free education when you can't pay the rent to attend. So I need more dormitory facilities for them. There's so many things that I will talk about when I have my own TV program. We have limited time here, but I'm just showing you some ideas where we can address those are really in need.
All right. There's a quick question I want to ask you before I go back to the mayor about something you said. You said some infrastructure programs are kind of trinket programs, right? They're just decorations. Which infrastructure program that is being done today within the last 4 years or so you would bypass in order to get money to do some more of the things you're talking about? Which program would you?
We like the East Coast Road. We take another grass, we put in concrete. Okay, that's one.
You mean the line top?
The public road.
The medium was nicely done.
It's grass and
they took out the medium and put the grassy medium and put the concrete medium.
So we instead of going green,
we begin some suburban.
And all of those
there's no urban.
All those walks and so on to the seawall and so on. Not very many people are using it. To my mind,
not the seawall, the Lamaha Street.
To my mind, we need to tackle people's need first, then this type of infrastructure. Secondly, now it's good to know that we concrete so many streets in the villages. The cars drive and it's okay, but people don't need concrete. So who benefits? For instance, we took out the excess tax from gasoline. All right, that benefits me. I'm a driver, you're a driver, but the bottom, the price didn't fall for the fares, so it didn't benefit him. So you must put measures in place that really going to go towards the people. So that's why one time I said, the president said he put 2 measures in place to put $200 billion back into the hands of the people. But it didn't go in the people at the bottom. I am saying if you take $200 billion divided by 264 households, each household could get some $100,000. So that benefit didn't go to the bottom. There is no strategic objective in any of the 2 parties' budget that tackles poverty in a meaningful way, in a direct way. Now we have single parent. Take the give out. You are giving $200,000 for each household. You change it over to $100,000 for each adult. We have single parent there, female mostly. They can get $100,000. They get 4 children below 18. We're not looking at that. We're giving $40,000 for those children in school. What about those who drop out? They're not in school, they can't afford. I started the poverty program at the Ministry of Human Services. It's still there. You know why? People are coming to me and they didn't have tea to give they have to give the children sugar water this morning to drink. I experienced that. That's why I started that poverty program. That's my baby, because I cared about people. We need a program like that.
Still drink sugar water today, you know.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Stop that nonsense, please.
No.
Man, Freddie, you there, Georgetown. Go to the rural areas.
Please,
go to the rural areas.
He's correct.
Go to the rural areas.
On the boat,
on the boat party.
Just insanely
you go to the rural areas.
Tell us
on the boat party.
Your expectation. For
my expectation for the 2025 budget, Leonard, and I have viewed it. I wrote an article on it a few months ago that it would be a sweeping financial promising budget because of an election year, where for this entire regime for the PPP from 2020 to now, they focus mainly on infrastructure. However, I am not against development. I'm not against this kind of infrastructure because, again, it is Bornham Vision who said in that vision that Guyana will become a place where infrastructure will have to be developed in various capacity. And we are seeing it happening today. It is a history. I give you a chance. Right? History. Right? We want to rewrite history, but let me take a look at what happened from 2020 to now. 172 million US loan from China to build the new Demerara Harbor Bridge. 192 million from Chinese to build the 4-lane Georgetown to Mahaica East Coast Embankment Road. 350 million from Qatar to build the 4-lane road to Parika. And I can go on 190 million from the United Kingdom and the Caribbean Development Bank to build Linden to Mabaruma Road. 100 million loan from the IDB to build Grove to Temeri Road. 43 million US loan from the IDB to build Tushin Housing Scheme, and all these places are the loan. So I can go on and on.
You prepare yourself for the program, man. You prepare yourself for the program.
This information is online. It is there. DPI. You can go and research it.
Okay.
It all is there.
And you're saying all these loans were taken between 2020 to now?
To 2020 to now.
Okay.
Right? So we still have loans. We still taking loans when we have all these resources, all these monies that we have from our natural resources. But Freddie don't want to hear these things then, right? I know Bissesar, I'll make mention of the working class. Look at, we pay as you earn. That is a tax should be abolished in this country to help the poorer class of people.
Before you continue,
you have compound taxes. You can able to remove compound taxes to help our local entrepreneurs, help our small businesses, right? These are things I expect to see in 2025 budget.
All right. Why you sound as though you're against loans?
No, I'm not against loans. All country in the world, Leonard. The countries have to take loans for development to keep that connection with the different banks and all these things to develop a country. But the amount of loans that we are taking between 2020 and now, it is ridiculous.
But loans...
And yet, I'm not cutting you. The Guyanese people don't know the interest rates of these loans. It is not publicized. All we see, the amount IDB approved, and we don't know the interest rate. We don't know the term of payment back, and all these things. I am not against loan. Any economist can tell you that you have to take loan to build a nation. Right? But the amount and Guyanese people have been kept in the dark, not knowing the facts of these loans.
If I may add, I did mention...
Don't interrupt the man.
He interrupts me sometimes too, but I said if I may add.
Go ahead, Bissesar. Go ahead.
I requested Freddie. The question of infrastructure I mentioned just now, that is overemphasis on infrastructure as opposed to things that put bread into the mouth of people. And the worst part of it is that when the tender board gives out a tender, the man with $50 million more than the others gets it because he's a friend or a crony or a donor. So there's no fairness in the tender board system. I recall one time when there was a project in Berbice and a guy bid 48 million, a friend of the PPP, and some others bid like Jack Jones and so on, I know the figures, bid 45, 42 and so on. And the guy with 48 got it. And I spoke to them and they were complaining, and I wrote a letter for them to sign to send to the Procurement Commission. And they backed off afterward because this fear of challenging the goal, like what happened to me. So hold on, let me finish. So they backed out of it, but in any event, the Procurement Commission did relook at it. Okay, so what is happening is that I would like to see the tender board set up like the Procurement Commission with 2/3 majority vote in Parliament to set up the tender board. So I know who the heading the tender board. He came from finance, and I know his connection to.
No, be careful, right, please.
No, I'm saying the facts. I'm not condemning anybody. I know him. He was at finance, and he has close connection to the president who used to be Barjak Deo. I'm just saying that.
Let me come back to my topic.
You're interrupting me now.
The host wants to say something.
No, I wanted to plug something. I'll
But
come
no,
back
let
to
me
you.
just
Hold it
let me just complete this. Let me just complete this. So what is happening right now? Like infrastructure is drawback. Big infrastructure is big drawback. I don't have no. Everybody knows that. Don't tell me. If you want evidence, we can tap on the evidence on another program. All right, I can present it as you asked me the last time. Now, what I'm saying. We're going to build 6 brand new hospitals, right? We ain't got staff in the one we got. If you go to the hospital, you got to wait a month and a half to get an ultrasound. You need more equipment. One time, the hospital was servicing 5 health centers in terms of testing blood. The machine went down. 4 months afterwards, then they bought the machine. This is the nonsense that goes on. $5 million, 4 or 5 million. In other words, we are building this big infrastructure. Take the stadium in Barbies. We're building a stadium in Barbies. The Barbician, couple of them will use it sometimes 2-3 times a year.
The man doing his research.
We want to take the money.
Prepared, man. Look.
We want to develop.
Look what's going on there. Look what's going on there.
Yes, we don't interrupt and you're doing it. We need to take that money, build, restructure all these community centers. We encourage the youth to go back because those are the centers.
You interrupt the man who the co-host who wanted to say something.
He was interrupting me too early.
Give the
no, let me finish.
You're not finishing.
I'm making an important.
You're just going around.
I'm not going around. I'm making another point.
Look, but you're not finished.
I'm making another point.
Let's hear what. No,
let me just finish the point. I am saying develop these community centers.
Your point may end up taking up all the time.
Develop these community centers, okay? And then put a section in for the old people also. And I encourage the youth to go back there. Those are the things that's going to help restructure our society.
All right.
And not one big stadium.
Mayor, continue. So you wouldn't build, you wouldn't build stadium?
Not as a priority.
Yes or
not
no?
Not now for Barbies as priority.
When?
No.
When you can build it?
Some future time when we get enough to look after the rest.
All right.
Right?
Mayor.
Yes, Leonard. I was speaking of the pay as you earn. Those things should get categories, right? That should be abolished for me, right? If you want to still have it there, put it in categories. You have compound taxes. When you look at the compound taxes in this country, you bring in something, the duty add to that principle, then you add VAT and all these things in. Those things should be looked at to help local entrepreneurs, small businesses to grow in this country.
But Raj won't like that. That's neoliberal.
Right?
No, that's not neoliberal.
But one of the things, let me
finish.
I don't want to come back, but just let me tell you something that I expect both of you to say.
Yeah.
Do you know what is one of the most malignant or most evil omission in tax collection in this country? Property tax start from 40 million, and there were about 10 business families or business companies whose assets is over $1 trillion. You know how much you could collect from property tax? Rich people don't pay property tax.
But the property,
and I don't understand why nobody speak about this.
Yeah, but there are different taxes. That is a property tax.
You know what having $1 trillion in assets.
I agree with you with those things, right? But
why isn't this government collecting property taxes?
It's important. It is important to do these things and resort, right? So, Leonard, like the increase of salary you get this year, last year and this year, which I know for a fact that there is a big announcement in the budget because of this election year for the public servant. But
because election year you don't want the increase?
No, I'm glad if the people get the increase.
Was already set.
No, I'm glad. I am telling you, you will see more happening in this budget.
So are you glad for that?
I'm happy for the people.
Hold on.
No. Let me finish. I'm happy for the people get the increase, but I want to see the eliminate pay as you earn. Abolish that so the people, the public servant, can benefit more. And if you don't want to eliminate it, put it as category. If you earn over 400,000, you pay this percent. If you earn below, you pay nothing. That is how we can able to eradicate poverty in one way. There are many people who work in 130,000 in this country. Not even at care home 100,000. Have to pay light bill, phone bill, water bill, rent. Plus have to eat. Plus they have to send their kids to school. They have to get snacks to those kids. They have to get travel money. You think about it, Leonard. Think about it. And I'm not only saying it should happen in this budget, but there are many things to consider. The old age pension is $30-something thousand. The old people should receive 100,000 a month. We must give gratitude to our elders.
The better term is senior citizen, but as one of the co-hosts, I'm getting a chance. Just let me say this and let Craig take over. I would like to see a law passed in this country in which the GRA, by law, publishes the taxes collected from various forms of tax. How much it collects from PAYE, and when it comes to property tax, how much it collects from property tax. Because when you look at the wealthy in this country, if you was to collect property tax from them, you don't need PAYE. Anyway, back to Craig.
Like I said, Freddie, these are taxes has to undergo various studies and come up with strategy to help our people in. But we giving out cash grant 100,000. Me register, me can't even give me 100,000 yet.
Let me deal with it.
Oh, you mean I'm a Guyanese? I entitled. I registered.
I haven't got my own yet.
I get through it.
Allow me to deal with it.
Let me say this, Leonard.
You don't get your 100.
No, but I am not quite.
I want to buy a bicycle to ride in the park, and I want my 4 tires to my car.
So I am saying before giving out these 100,000, look at the bigger picture, how we can able to benefit our people long term.
Anyway, Craig,
listen.
You're not letting the co-host talk, man.
Talk about PAYE. Talk about PAYE.
Let the man say it. Please let the man say it.
Ubraj intervene back a second.
All right, but please
all right. So,
moderator.
All right.
I don't stop, you don't stop.
we are dealing with the budget. No,
yes.
Mayor Raj, Raj and Ubraj. All right.
I think they're related.
This man kicks to the,
you talk about measures you put in place, and you talk about reducing or eliminating tax. How are you paying for this in the budget? And not just this budget, future budgets. Remember, the price of oil is a volatile thing. Today they got some war somewhere near Iran, and then they cut off the oil supply, and prices might go up, or another time they overproduce and then prices go down, or whatever. How do you pay for these things that you're advocating for, understanding that oil, the stability of income from oil is up in the air?
I happy you asked that question.
You spoke twice already,
No, we're coming around the other.
Let me make mention of that, Leonard. And like I said, proper study has to be done for these things. Now, I'm speaking of pay as you earn, which can be categorized in this country, because that increase of salary that a public servant get last year and this year, most of it will go back to pay as you earn with demote what is supposed to get actually. Now you eliminate no toll for bridge, right? Because we're oil nation. I am against it. I agree with the president. No toll for bridge, but that is I don't find that necessary. $200 to cross the Demar Bridge, but if you able to help the public servants with that pay as you earn taxes, that will give them more long-term benefit in terms of helping to grow their family and they can able to live a comfortable life. $200 for go over the bridge is not nothing, right? But you see short-term things to catch people's eyes, to manipulate people. Well, we got no toll bridge, and people happy, people feel glad, but we're not able to sit down and think and reason this thing, that if this thing ought to happen this way, put back the bridge toll, let me say, and remove certain percentage from pay-as-you-earn taxes. It will benefit the people more, far way more. So you got different dynamics and different areas which the government have access to this information, can able to bring revenue. You have oil, right? Bharat speak every week, every Thursday about oil, right? And he make mention of several areas with oil and gas and all these things, ring fencing and all these things that people make mention of hasn't happened. So we still, they're in a dilemma when collection of taxes from the oil company in this country, right? We still there in a dilemma when we collect taxes. Some is in certain the oil companies. So we have to understand. And again, I'm not bashing the government in this aspect, but I can fairly say that studies can be done to able to remove that pay-as-you-earn taxes to help our people.
Raj, how you
I would not at this stage. You see, like Qatar and those countries, they own oil. We get a small share of the oil, so we don't own it really. So I would be careful about how I eliminate taxes. I will suggest, like this year, 10% across the floor. So the president will get an extra 190,000 a month based on his salary, and the man at the bottom get a 10,000 and less based on their salary. And the president said by this year, nobody should earn less than 100,000. That low figure you're talking about, 100,000, which is ridiculous. So I will say the bottom should have got 20%. Or more. Give the bottom people more, give the people at the top less. So that your work...
That will be discrimination.
I did not interrupt you, sir.
That will be discrimination.
I did not interrupt you, sir.
Okay. Just finish off that point you're making.
It's not discrimination. It's like progressive taxation. You have progressive taxation. Who earn more pay more. Cooperation pays 30% or whatever, I pay this amount. It's not discrimination against cooperation. It's different strategy, okay? I am saying you want to direct the wealth where it's really needed at a particular point in time, okay? So I am saying you should give and it's happened before. In fact, the coalition government did that.
Did what?
Credit to them. They pulled the bottom section up pretty up to some extent, right? By giving a higher percentage to those at the bottom. It has happened in many countries. It's happened in this country before. So that's one. And the rich pay more, okay? You're talking about the property tax. Also, some people say remove that. I say keep it. Now, in terms of the bridge tolls, I would not remove I would leave the tolls on the bridge. Because here again, it's the people in the car that basically benefit. When they remove it, they don't drop the price for the passenger, right? So I would leave it and use that money to direct it to help those really in need. In other words, there has to be a strategy in this country that's aimed primarily to pull our people out of poverty. We talk about New Dubai. That's not Dubai. That's something else.
Timbuktu?
I don't know where it is, but this works in some country. Look, so the point I'm making to you, what's the orientation of the budget to help whom? My opinion, I told about there's 200 measures. Those 200 measures put back 200 billion in the hands of the people instead of the government to spend. Leave the measures there and spend the money. Because when you put the measures in place, it's only going to the upper bracket. It ain't going to the bottom. So all of those measures that you put in place is benefiting the upper section of the society. Nobody is concentrating on a strategy to lift our people out of poverty. None of the parties. And that's why I'm saying, let me stop this race nonsense and unite as working class, because only the working class can hold government accountable. The working class got to unite, like when the sugar and bauxite went on strike. Hoyt said 0%. And when bauxite and sugar strike together, they got 40%. That's an example of working class unity to gain benefits. And anytime the black and Indian working class and American working class unite in this country, they can start making benefits. But these parties keep them divided. So they will not unite to make demands in their own interest.
By the way, your phone ringing and it says girlfriend. I didn't know you.
I hope my wife is not listening. You just put me in trouble.
It says girlfriend.
It's Mark.
Why you set up with this man? Freddie, why you set up?
No, I didn't know that.
You see, Mark, and you saying the same thing.
Oh, man, sorry.
I expect better from you.
Now you say boyfriend.
Sorry, I
Now
apologize.
you split for girlfriend and boyfriend.
I apologize.
The wife can say, okay, if you get a girlfriend with a boyfriend, it's a difficult matter.
All right. So, in summary, I'll take it that you want to see in the 2025 budget exclusive plans directed at.
Not exclusive. I've never said that. It must focus. We have to incentivize the private sector. The reality is our private sector is at the mercy now.
But earlier you said it's neoliberal to
No. A total thing is neoliberal. There's different aspects.
The holistic approach to economics is neoliberal.
However, I'm compartmentalizing it now. We have to invest. Look, let me show you something. Another area. The president announced he's putting X amount of millions of dollars to help loggers. Here, to help loggers.
Who? Lovers?
Loggers.
Loggers.
Man, girlfriend and...
You got an amorous thing. You got something erotic going on with you.
Girlfriend and lovers in your mind.
Yeah,
Anyway,
some erotic instinct is over there.
So the government...
There's a serious program, right?
The government in their wisdom put the money into a bank. Let the bank hand it out, right? And the bank is using, in this case, is the Damara Bank, is using the same stringent measures as if when they're lending their own money. Now, when you go to the bank wants real estate. Now, this 4%, which is good, but the bank wants real estate. Now, most of those loggers in Linden, Kakwani, Mabura, and them places, right? They get land, but there's no title to this land. They get a house, no title. So none of these small loggers can benefit from that loan. Who do you think benefiting?
The higher class.
The big loggers, the big businessmen are benefiting. My Christ, these people can't put a measure in place directed to the small people, man. Every single measure they put in place is helping the top. And when you look around this country, you see the widening gap between the rich and the poor. It's widening a geometric progression. Geometric progression. And one of the worst parts is going to happen is this. Most of the businessmen in this country, which is a reality, happen to be Indians. So it's easy to say, watch, the Indian getting up. So it could create the basis for racial arguments too, because this is unfortunate. The last point I would like to make for the time in this one is that Chetty advocated trisectoral economy. In a third world country, the private sector cannot be the only engine of growth. It's weak financially, culturally, and academically in many instances. There's no corporate mentality in our private sector where they'll pool resources to do a big company. You had banks and you had DDL. After that, we never had any big public corporation to buy into.
Everybody for themselves.
Right. So we have family business and personal business.
Everybody for themselves.
And so the question is this. Because of the racial conflagration in this country, and because of fears, you'll find it that the Indian businessmen in this country that constitute the majority might not want to invest in Linden, Kakwani, Buxton because of their own fears, whether real or imagined. Okay? So we have a problem.
Chinese are not fearful at all.
No, because the Chinese has a state supporting them, okay? That's a different matter. China is a different ballgame.
No, I know.
But it doesn't
The point
it doesn't undermine his point. They're not fearful of going
they're
into
not fearful of going into Alba.
No, because.
But anyway, that's a
they're not the
sidetrack.
enemy. They're not the enemy.
Let's go.
Nobody
Go on.
fights Chinese.
I want to.
Let me finish this part. You don't interrupt me now. Let me finish this important part.
No, you're on the point a long time, man.
No.
You see, there's a thing. You're saying let me finish, but you don't finish.
No. But if I'm making,
you're a politician. I'm a politician.
I am making sense. So let me finish.
You're making sense.
Both of you interrupting.
Okay, Bissesar.
Okay,
The more you think you're making sense.
So now
You broke it up.
Chedi advocated trisectoral economy. You are there when I fight to put the trisectoral economy in the coalition budget. You are there when I put the development bank.
You can remember that?
Not specifically, but
right. When we fight to put the development bank in the coalition budget. The development bank is important. Here is where you incentivize the private sector, because your development bank will lend loan at 6%, agriculture and manufacturing. You cannot borrow money at 17% to go into manufacturing or agriculture.
Sometimes in Guyana it's as high as 30%.
It's right. So that's with the iPad. So I'm saying to you, we need to address these basic issues. But like these governments, they live in cloud. They're in the cloud. They don't touch the ground.
Before the pandit come in, I'm getting a chance. I just want to say this, then I will shut up. I would like to see in the budget some money put aside in which a team will approach each animal drawn vehicle owner and give them very, very generous loan or maybe a grant to do away with that horse cart vehicle and buy a little canter truck. I think the time come for those animal cart thing to go. It's cruelty to animals.
Yes,
you think so?
It's not cruelty to animals to have a horse.
Horses have been drawing, pulling chariots.
And that doesn't make it cool to animals? What am I hearing? Because
is this guy vegetarian? Have you ever seen how they cut the neck of a chicken?
I don't
or a
agree.
pig or a thing?
But what that got to do with having a horse?
That's cruelty.
Well, I don't know that.
Some of those horses are well taken care of, and
Yes,
I think.
Oh, you know that you did any research?
I see them.
I think
we should do away with it. It's anyway.
I can tell you why we
Don't let me cut.
That's
No,
your
the man is on the
opinion,
floor
but,
now.
When you get a
Patricia,
cat,
the man
but
is
you're
on the
just
floor.
talking about.
When you get a can take up $8,000.
But you were talking
a horse
about
cart
what
will
would
take
you like to
$2,000.
see. But that's
A horse cart will take $2,000.
Mayor.
The cat will take
I
8,000.
want to build on something that Bissesar said, which
Oh, yeah.
I have the same.
You agree with something
view,
now?
that
Many
when
things.
The same thing like when the government announce funding for a sector, it goes to the top because the lower man at the bottom, like the login you make mention,
You don't trickle down.
and it don't trickle down because of those people don't reach the criteria to benefit, and there's no unit or section or system in place for accommodate those people, and it happens through the length and breadth of this country. When you look at the news, Leonard, and we must get a conscience. When we look at the news, you can see what kind of businesses are progressing in this country. Where's a little man? Where is a small business can able to function properly in this country, right? With the amount of procrastination they have to go through to get a grant from the I forget the place name.
Small business.
That's a waste.
Bureau, right? You know the amount of obstacles and procrastination the individual has to go through to go at the small business bureau to get a grant. These are things the government has to look at to help our people in need of help. So when you this 100,000 you're giving them, I don't see it as nothing, right? It is a drop in the ocean. I am talking about policies to put in place. You got housing. The Ministry of Housing, people paid $1.5 and $2 million for a house lot, right? Look at the low income. If you don't have 800,000 to pay for a low income house, you can't get a house lot. And you get you have to pay half of it when they call you, and you have to pay the next half within 6 months. Those things are ridiculous. People can't afford it. When they're finished paying for that house lot, they have to go and get a loan. And if they don't have a proper job, they now have to seek either they sell the land to get money to continue to live in the same poverty or the same direction. These are things people have to analyze and bring solution to the table. There are many, many things that happen in this country. Freddie, my good friend Freddie over there about sugar water. Go to Region 1. You take the plane and go to Region 1 tomorrow. Go to Machu Ridge and Port Kaituma. Go to Baramita and see the condition those indigenous people live in.
You sure it's not cane juice?
Right? You go on. I'm not telling you. I'm not saying anything.
They don't
You
plant
go and see.
Oh, it's cane juice.
I am telling you to go and see. This is
The man thought it was sugar water. The man saying it's cane juice.
Right? This is a serious program you make mention. This is not no laughing
There's so much
story.
carbohydrate, boy.
Right? Go and visit those areas. Right? Medical, there's a next thing I want to see in 2025 budget. It's about a health policy, a proper health policy. When I was mayor, I will tell you what I did. When I took office, since 1994, there's something called compound tax on your rates and taxes. 21% compound tax. I removed that. I said you have to go at the bank. Bank was 18% simple interest. We move it to 18% simple interest. That was gazetted. I don't know if they...
Please explain for our viewers what you mean by compound tax.
Good. Now, the 21% compound tax rates and taxes, it used to compound for every quarterly. So when you done, if you're paying, let me say, you're paying $6,000 a year, you end up, if you hold the whole year, you pay about $200,000.
What is saying is...
So the principle, be there, but the compound taxes, the compound interest is a large sum, millions of dollars.
Interest is added.
Yeah, added continuously.
Interest on the interest.
Every year.
So
if you not pay 1 year, it continue for the lapping over the other year.
Interest.
It is ridiculous, I find it. And I said to the council, we have to bring this down to simple interest. The law says you have to charge 1% extra simple interest. And we move it to 18% simple interest on rates and taxes according to the laws. 28-1, and we get a vote on that. And it was gazetted. I don't know if the city council implemented because people still complaining on this compound interest. I don't know if they fixed the system.
Let me just ask something quickly. When you change that, what the accounting unit is supposed to do? They're supposed to go back and change the historical figures that
No. That will,
or it starts from that day.
It starts from that date when it gazetted. Okay. Right? You remember, you have to be gazetted, then it become law.
I understand.
So from that day now,
becomes law,
yes, then you
calculate everything that a person based on the new formula.
One, not the compound one anymore. Okay. So you will deal with simple interest. I don't know.
Even though I owe for 20 years.
Yes. I can't go back. I can't go back because it wasn't gazetted then. For those years, it was gazetted in 2021. Okay. Right? So you have to move forward. Right? So those are things I do. Health policy. When I was mayor, I read the health ordinance. Right? When we had COVID, that need to be revised immediately. I saw recently the Minister of Health make mention that he set up a team and they will revisit or revise that health ordinance. But the health policy, Leonard, it's really needed in this country. If you don't want to address the adults, address the children and the senior citizens. Right? Because look, yesterday, a guy came to me at the office. He cannot afford to buy his medication with his pension money. Right? He go to the hospital, it's a shubarong. They don't have this medication, they don't have that medication, they don't have that medication at West Demerara Hospital. So these things need to be addressed holistically. We can't just point out one and two things.
So you would not be opposed to, in the 2025 budget, there is a sum set aside for people who cannot get their free medication from the hospital to get a voucher to go to private to get.
No, I'm not against that.
No, I'm asking you if that is what you're advocating.
Yes, I said this on our live on my page. I did a live that health policy should set up for children from the birth to 18 that can go to any hospital and get medical treatment.
The operator said that
and we tell the operator, give me 2 minutes more here.
No.
And medication
you can't get 2
senior citizens.
You can't.
I believe our people need these kind
The operator said you
of
can't get
service
2 minutes
from
more.
any government.
If I may just
We got to wrap up
I want
now.
to make this a short
So
point.
quickly. Yeah.
The housing. Now a man.
Don't make this long. The operator.
You're interrupting and take up time. The housing. Not everybody can build a house. It's difficult, and not everybody can afford it. I am saying the government should set aside a set of land and do some high rise to have low interest apartments. That even if it has to be subsidized by the government to assist those people, and so that complex. I think Cuba has a situation like that where you have your own apartment, low rental. I think Chile had implemented some in the Rumbelt area.
Oh, Cherry, Bornham did that too. Bornham did a lot of that.
Yeah, man.
Of that.
Man, Bornham, you got an obsession, man. Oh God. So I'm saying to you,
You bring your history right there.
man, you rigged that election, man. So hold on.
No,
I'm saying to you, we should have some high
operator
rise. I didn't interrupt you like you're doing to me. You know, you're
All right,
you're very
just
discourteous.
I am not.
Yeah,
I'm just correcting you on
I don't
history
interrupt
part.
like you do.
History, you must bring history and facts when you come to a program like this and face
That
it.
may be in your mind, though, you know.
Why did your party put a reconciliation thing?
That may be in your mind. We got to go. The operator
So we need a high-rise apartment, and it takes up less space, and these people can live comfortable because not everybody. You give them a piece of land and put a shop.
All right.
Okay.
All right. All of you are talking about working class. Working class people don't have two. Look, this is two smartphones belonging to. Look, this is two smartphones, and when people.
Freddie, you're not supposed to call out the guests like that. This man never said he is working class. He said he's working on behalf
Okay, look
of
at
the
working class man is here.
You call it the mango pelt.
If you can't understand technology, you're blaming
ladies and gentlemen,
journalists.
ladies and gentlemen, we were looking. Our two guests were looking at what they would expect from the budget. Long-standing activist Rajendra Bissesar and the former mayor of Georgetown, Ubraj Narine. They both adumbrated and enunciated what they expect from the budget, but also what should be naturally in a budget. Our co-host was economist Leonard Craig. We will see on Friday for our call-in. Maybe Rajendra Bissesar will share the call-in with me and the mayor. Maybe the two of them. Leonard can't make it on Friday evening, but if they want, the two of them can share the call-in with me. We'll discuss this after the show. See you on the call-in Friday evening. Budget is Friday. Bye-bye. Catch you later.